Hi there, we're back with another PEPASS Q&A for you. The next few sessions that we've set up are football related. They've proved very popular, so stay tuned to see who comes up in the next few sessions. This one is with Lawrence Shankland of Dundee United. Thanks very much to Stephen Thompson from the Active Schools team for helping to set this one up. So let's see what Lawrence had to say.
Hi, Lawrence Shankland here. First of all, I just want to thank you all for taking your time out to think of some questions for me to answer, and I'm looking forward to answering them all here, so let's get cracking. What age did I start playing for a club? I always attended football when I was younger. There was things like, you may know it as mini kickers now, but it was just known as football training back then in Tolcross Leisure Centre, so I used to go there when I was about 4 until probably about 5.5, 6, and then when I was 6 you could start playing for a boys club, so that's when I played for Baileyson Juniors for a while. That was my first boys club I played for, and then when I was 8 I managed to get scouted to go and play for Hearts, so that was the first like professional club set up, obviously in the youth, that I was involved in. Who inspired me to be a footballer? It's probably a more family based thing. All my big cousins and everybody older than me that I knew, obviously growing up, played football, and it was always something I wanted to get involved in. I used to go and watch them play their games and go up the park with them and join in when they would let me, that is. When they let me join in all the time, I'd probably be going to collect the balls most of it, but I always liked just being about my big cousins all playing, and that's probably where I decided that I really enjoyed football and it was something that I always wanted to play. How many hours a day do I train? I'll just take you through my normal week in the season. Usually we'll have a single session on a Monday. On a Tuesday it'll be a double session, so it'll be football in the morning and then we'll be in the gym in the afternoon. A Wednesday is our day off during the week to recover and get some rest. A Thursday we train football on the pitch and then we're in the gym as well, another double session. And then on a Friday it's just football session leading up to the game on the Saturday. It's more tactical stuff like set plays and some short sharp games just to get your sharpness ahead of the game on the next day. And then obviously Saturday's the best day, game day. What types of foods do I eat? I think it's hugely important now. In the last 10 to 15 years it's certainly increased how important nutrition is to professional athletes and obviously footballers. I've had to learn that as I got a wee bit older. I had to learn what foods worked for me, so basically in all my meals I'll have protein, carbohydrates and either fruit and veg, and that's the kind of nutrients I need and feel that I need to be able to perform best at training and have the energy that I need to do to perform at as high a level as possible. Including all those things in my meals works best for me, and it helps me maintain the weight that I need to be to perform at my best, as I said, and to be in the best shape that I can. Am I missing the pitch? Of course, I think everybody's kind of missing having that bit of routine in their life at the moment. It's been obviously a really bad pandemic and a lot of worse scenarios, and not being able to go into football training. But of course, I do miss it. It's my life. That's what I go up and do every day. It gives me structure, and to get out and go to training every morning is what I love doing, and I love my job. So of course I'm missing it, but I wouldn't like to say that without thinking of all the people that have experienced probably a lot worse, or definitely a lot worse things than I have, and not going to training through this. So my thoughts are with them, and I'm sure I'll get back to the pitch one day soon. The next questions, well, it's 3 questions all asked in a different way. What tips have you got for young footballers? What advice have you got for young footballers? And advice for being a footballer. So I'll kind of tie them all in together. It's a really tough industry, obviously football. There's a lot more boys that don't get the opportunity to be a professional footballer than there is that make it, and I think that is probably the biggest part of it. There's a lot of disappointments on the way, and that's where you see people falling out of the game. But you know, if you know you want that and that's your end goal, then you just need to keep believing in yourself, and you'll take knocks along the way. You'll get released from teams and they'll not want you, and people's opinions will change. They'll think you're not great anymore. But if you have that self-belief in your head and you know that that's what you want to do, that's been a big thing for me. I always knew that I wanted to be a footballer, and I was always focused on my end goal and to try and stay focused on that is difficult at times when you receive those knocks, but I think the biggest part of that is just keep that belief in your own head. In terms of advice for being a footballer, probably is the biggest thing is listen to your coaches and listen to everything they tell you, because these guys are trying to learn you for a reason. They're not criticising you or telling you you're doing things wrong to get at you. They're trying to help you, and I was always a really good listener growing up, and I tried to take on everything that everybody ever told me. So I feel like that's probably the biggest thing I can tell you, that listening and working hard. A lot of it just comes down to total hard work, and over the years there have been better players than me that I've played with, and they maybe just never had the determination and the work rate that I had, and I found myself ahead of them eventually. So that's a key thing. I would say the two key things, are listening and working really hard, and that gives you the best opportunity to get close to it anyway. Best player I've played with. It's a tough one this, when you go away on the international trips and you play with guys who are playing in the Premier League week in, week out, and you see the standard of player, they're all really good, and there's not really a bad player amongst them, so it's difficult to decide what one's the best. But in terms of achievements and things like that, Andy Robertson probably takes it. He's currently the Scotland captain. He's played in 2 Champions League finals, winning one, and he's currently on his way to winning a Premier League with Liverpool. Fingers crossed he can get that job done. But I think in terms of things like that, you can't take those honours away from him, and I've got to give it to him. The most enjoyable part of my career so far, I think it's got to be playing for Scotland. That was obviously an opportunity that came about, and it's something you always grow up dreaming of, and you're never sure if you'll ever get that opportunity, but thankfully enough I did, and I managed to obviously make my debut over in Russia, and that was where the last World Cup final had been held, and that was a really obviously special occasion for me to make my debut there, and then coming back to Hampden to make my full debut and start the game, and eventually going to get a goal. I don't think I'll probably experience something as enjoyable as that, and seeing all my family there and seeing how happy they were when I scored is a really great feeling. So I think that'll be hard to beat. What is my favourite moment in a United shirt? There's a couple. My home debut in the league against Inverness, the first game of the season, we won the game 4-1, and I managed to score 4. So it was a bit of a dream debut for me, especially being at Tannadice, and there was a big crowd there, and it was a great start for the team and me personally. Either that or scoring the second goal in the derby in the game we won 2-0 at Dens Park. It's always good to score in those big games and get derby goals, and the second goal kind of killed the game for us, and we knew we were going to win for there, so that was a great night too. How does it feel to score and hear the fans singing my name? As a striker, I love scoring, obviously. It's my job essentially, but it is the part of the game that I really enjoy. There's no better feeling than when the ball hits the net, and obviously everybody in the crowd is cheering for you, so that is a feeling that I love. And when they're singing your name, it is great. Obviously football's a fickle game, and they're quick to criticise you when you do something wrong, so you've got to take the positives when you can, and I can't lie and say it's not enjoyable and good to hear all the fans singing your name. Probably the away game at Dens in the derby was the best one for me, when I scored the second goal, and they were singing my name for about 10 minutes after that goal, so it is a great feeling. What keeps me going if I make mistakes? It's a big part of the game that I had to learn personally. I was always really hard on myself, and I used to think about it during games, and it really affected my performance, and I wasn't performing the way that I should have been, so I kind of got myself into the way of thinking that if I make a mistake, the next thing I just try and do right, and it seems to work for me. Even if you're going to make another mistake, if you always have in your head, right, I'll do the next thing right, then eventually you'll do that right thing, and you can keep it simple, and eventually you can find your form again, and your game starts to grow again for there. Am I missing football, and what am I doing for training? As I've covered before, I definitely am missing football, and I can't wait to get back, so fingers crossed it's sooner rather than later. In terms of training, a lot of it's just been running. We've been given our programmes from early on for the off-season to keep ourselves ticking over, and most of it is just without the ball. Unfortunately, you're training yourself at the minute, so there's nobody to really go and kick the ball about with or get any football played, and at the pitches all the goals are chained up, so it's kind of difficult circumstances now, but the thing for us is just to keep our fitness up, and when we get back to actual football training in the club, that's when we can get back on the balls and get our touches right. But until then, it'll just be ticking over with the runs and the sprints, unfortunately, without the ball. Any advice for a defender? My advice probably would be try and play midfielder up front and get away with it. But nah, in all seriousness, the only way I can kind of help you is tell you things that I've came up against that I found difficult to play against as a striker. I feel probably the hardest defenders to play against are the ones who are always getting really tight to you. They don't really give you a lot of space. Every time you take your touch, you know that they're going to be tight to you and round about you and try to get a nick on the ball. If a defender starts backing off and giving you space, it makes your job a lot easier to take the ball in and bring other players into play, and essentially you could get turned and have a run at them. So I feel probably as a defender, if you're marking strikers, just get tight when you can and make life difficult for them. The final question is, could I come and watch you and your teammates play when we are eventually allowed to? I would love to. I would love to get along and watch as many people as I could, but I'm actually living up in Dundee at the moment to be closer to the football club and to make it easier for me to get to training and stuff. So I've actually already got a pretty hectic schedule in terms of training and stuff, and I've also got a baby on the way, so I think any free time I have away from football is going to be taken up with changing nappies and feeds soon. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to promise you that, but hopefully if you're playing Dundee one day, I could come and watch that. Finally, I'd just like to thank you again for taking the time out to think of the questions for me to answer. It's been a pleasure for me to answer them, and I've really enjoyed it. I've tried to answer them as best as possible, so fingers crossed you can maybe learn something or get that wee bit of advice you're looking for. Take care everyone, thank you.